When you buy the Old Hunters DLC, well, it seems like a pretty linear path. You might come across this guy named Simon, and actually there is a little bit of a questline associated with him, giving you quite a bit of lore as to what the heck happened, and why are all of these old hunters here in the Hunter's Nightmare. What's up everybody, this is going to be a very comprehensive quick guide on how to do all of the Simon parts of the quests, which also too is just kind of the DLC, but we're going to cover everything just to make sure that you don't miss anything in the Old Hunters DLC. So when you first land into the DLC, you're just going to want to progress through things pretty naturally, and eventually you're going to find the first shortcut after going through the cathedral town, and basically you're going to see him perched up on a wall looking all cool, and you just want to go and talk to him. Now this is Simon, and in his dialogue he's going to let you know a little bit more about the Hunter's Nightmare and how basically it traps hunters in there and they're forced to endlessly hunt, also too consuming so much blood that eventually they become beasts just focused on killing things endlessly. Eventually when you get to the dialogue option, just make sure to choose Nightmares Are Fascinating, and he's going to tell you that there are some crazy secrets hidden around in the nightmare and the quest will be able to progress. Now, in order to find him in the second location, you gotta go up against the big ol' fun Ludwig the Accursed, one of the hardest skill challenges in my opinion. And after you actually do kill Ludwig, you're gonna notice that his head drops onto the ground. Make sure to attack the head, and also too, this is gonna drop the Moonlight Blade, never wrong. But when you respawn back into this point, Simon's gonna be here in a second location. When you talk to him here, he's gonna reveal a little bit more lore on Ludwig. The interesting point here is how basically, even though Ludwig was considered a hero amongst many, he had his own misdeeds which eventually drew him into the nightmare, also too turning him into this giant beast that you just killed. Now you're just gonna have to go through things a little bit further through the research hall, and when you get to this Clocktower thing, you're gonna have to raise it all the way up, which is just at the very top. And when you do that, Simon's gonna appear in his third location, right by the research hall lamp, just at the very bottom of this tower. Here he's gonna let you know that the big secret is hidden behind the astral clock tower. And the only way really to reveal it is to kill Maria, who's the one who is purposefully hiding this big secret. Now when you go and kill Maria, which is also too, just a fun fact, one of my favorite boss fights in the entire game, it's just perfectly balanced, it's great. When you do kill her, you're gonna be able to pick up the Celestial Dial. And also too, you do get her Hunter set, which you can buy in the Messengers if you just wanna look like Maria too. Also too, Maria is the first and only true love of Gurram, the first hunter, who's the guy in the wheelchair in the game. And you know, the doll is based on Maria, which is also kind of creepy, but it's just, you know, these old hunters were doing their own thing. Now, when you pick up the Celestial Dial, just walk over to this giant clock thing, and when you use it, well, you're gonna reveal the giant secret. It's a Lovecraftian fish village, filled with, of course, fishmen as well. It's just something straight out of a Lovecraft story, and it's very creepy. Now, you're just gonna have to run through this fish village, and eventually you will be able to unlock the Lighthouse Hut lamp. And here, don't miss Simon. I almost missed Simon, but Simon is actually on the ground because he's breathing his last breaths, and so you want to go and talk to him to figure out what the heck is going on. Here he's going to tell you that this fishing village actually started the whole thing, a little bit vaguely, but essentially the whole point behind this is that the old hunters killed the celestial being, and then that gave rise to the church, and also to the old hunters using the blood and all the insight, all of that stuff, that it all originated from the old hunters first killing this big great one at the start in this fishing village. As he dies, he's going to give you the underground cell inner chamber key, and we'll also drop Simon's bowblade. Honestly, a really cool trick weapon if you want to use that one. Well, this is a little bit of a sad ending for Simon. You can actually go about and avenge his death. Keep in mind he did mention that the beast hide assassin was after him. And if you continue to run through at this point, you might run into this dude who just appears after a bell rings with giant antlers, and he's kind of a pain in the ass, but this is the person who actually did kill Simon. This guy is named Brador, and basically you can kill him, also too getting all of his sets and all of his weapons and stuff like that, and I'm going to tell you basically how to wrap that up as well. Essentially, when the bell rings, he has 4 different locations that he's going to spawn in, also too including his main body, which can be found using that underground cell key. Basically just spawn in where you killed Ludwig, run through, and then you're gonna be able to unlock the underground cell, and he's gonna be hanging out here. You know what, it's just easier honestly to kill him at the source, and that will dispel all of the clones that appear throughout the nightmare, and they're not gonna bother you again. Now to get all of his set, after you've killed him and picked up the bloodletter from his body, the 4 different locations that he can be found, well, you just gotta go to them, and it's just gonna be hanging out on the ground. So you don't actually have to kill the clones, you kill the main man, then the rest of them, just very easy to pick up and you're chilling. Brador was originally an assassin hired by the church, set out to take out the beastly version of hunters. Well, you can imagine why the Hunter's Nightmare was the perfect place to do that. But of course, it's kind of screwed up too, because he started wearing all the beastly remains of the hunters that he killed as his own clothes, which is kind of a sociopathic thing if you ask me. He also has a bell, which is soundless, and it's reflected in his dialogue that it was used to communicate with the church and could not be heard otherwise. Very curious though why you can hear it every single time one of those clones pops in, but can't find any information on that or why that is the case. Now, once you've picked up all these little armor sets, then you've not only avenged Simon, but you got yourself a cool new set of armor, or two if you got Maria's set as well, and a couple of weapons to show for it. And that's everything that has to do with Simon's quest in the Old Hunters DLC in Bloodborne. Like, subscribe, comment, all of that wonderful stuff. If you did enjoy this video, I'm hoping that this is helping some people out because, again, this one's a little bit more straightforward, but there's still a lot of interesting lore implications as to what the heck is going on here. Of course, a couple more Bloodborne videos are going to be just on the horizon once I actually get around to filming them. But thank you guys so much. I'll catch you in the next video.